Sup, bro?
Sup, bro?
So I got a question.
Okay, shoot.
Hypothetically, what would you tell me if I said I want to kill myself?
Well, first I would start off by asking the question, besides why are you having this feeling, but what are you lacking that you could wish for? I often ask my clients this as well, if you had any opportunity to get anything you wanted with no limits, no precautions, what would you do or what would you want to make your situation better? Because often it could just revolve around something we're lacking of, something we don't have or not having enough of in our life. But in many cases we also would ask ourselves not only what are we lacking, but maybe what are meaningful to us.
Yes.
Because this is the number one cause that we don't know really what we want in life.
Yes.
And especially for adolescents or young people, it's quite common to not have that figured out or have that even direction you want to go in. So I would start there to go through your options. What are your strengths, maybe weaknesses, and what do you find meaningful? Because that is something we do in therapy quite often, especially if we have a client that's experiencing difficulties with communicating or just having difficulties identifying what they want or what they want to improve in their life. I always ask the question, what is the most important thing for you right now? And that's not 5 years ago, that's not in 5 years, right now. What is the most important thing?
Yeah.
And then a lot of people either they don't even know that, and that's somewhere we could start.
Yeah.
To find what could be for you.
Yeah.
This is something we also talk a lot about in training as well.
Yeah.
Not following what's important to the next guy.
Yes.
Really finding what's important to you, because in today's society with social media that's building up this perfectionistic view of everything, that we have to act a certain way, we have to look a certain way to be accepted. We also fear and avoid the stuff that may be looking maybe inconvenient or odd in a way, doing weird exercises just because they look weird. We avoid them. But as I spoke to you about before, I found many hidden gems like this, just trying weird exercise, but they have been really effective. And same in life, you have to really go through your options, both what are you good at and what would be important for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if I'm telling you something like, oh, I feel worthless, I'm not good at anything. Where would I start?
Well, I think often it goes deeper than that, because I, as an occupational therapist, work mostly with the activity side of things. And I know a lot of therapists out there is working in two different ways. There are therapists that is against the talking about your problems, that believe that talking and expressing your emotions very freely, very often makes you feel better, improves your mental health. When there's also therapists that works against this, because I believe if you only talk about your problems often, they will only grow.
Yeah.
It's still important to reflect and work on them, or shadow work as we call it, while you do this physical side of things. I think it's really beneficial if you work on your stuff in a more in a way where you use your body. And that's also something we need to do. Like if you have a trauma of some kind, you both need to start with a physical activity to be able to have the energy and motivation to work through your like deep traumas or just stuff that are stuffing down your mental health or limiting it. So you have to find that balance between those two, because you can't only have the physical activity to maybe numb your feelings or numb the things you don't want to talk about or feel, but you can't only either talk about and trying to feel your emotions and not having the physical activity.
Yes.
Then you will only get more depressed and deeper in that hole.
All right. I think that's a pretty good explanation of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, have you had any run-ins with depression of your own?
Yeah, I would say for a pretty long time in my earlier years, I believe it was a not big reason, but something that drove me to training in the first place. And I think that was what made me like really passionate about the gym, because as you know, before I was like very overweight, very shy, very like inactive guy, both physically and socially.
Yep.
So training, when Sebastian introduced me to training, it was I found something that was like mine.
Yep.
Like it was a big part of my identity, and I made it my own, like in my way. So before that and even after that, I also experienced it. So I would say it's like the recent 5 years I've been really working on that stuff. Like, but that's also something I actually spoke with a client about today, that things like depression and anxiety and all that revolves around mental health, you can't rush it.
No.
Because the moment you start rushing it or trying to find a easy fix, it grows stronger.
Yeah.
And that's what you also need to like learn, especially if you have anxiety. You need to learn to accept things instead of trying to fix them. That's something I work with. Instead of trying to fix my client's problem, I will try to move them into the direction of realization of their own, like realizing their problem first, but also coming to the change talk, that they have something they can change and something they want to change.
Yeah.
And therefore, if you come to that realization, because it's a really vulnerable state and really tough thing to accept or say out loud as a client.
Yeah.
So if you can reach that part, you've come a long way. And then we can also start to work on like goals and what is realistic right now and things like that.
Yeah. Me, myself, I had a little bit of a run-in with depression back when I started studying in the university, because my first year of studying was in Vasa. It wasn't like with you and the other gang.
Yeah.
So I took an approach which I regret, but maybe in a way it led me to other paths.
Yeah.
But I started off by just socially isolating myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't going out to parties. I said I wouldn't, so I didn't.
Yeah.
And that was a mistake. I didn't make any friends. I didn't have any social circle to be around.
Yeah.
So that led me down a darker path.
Yeah.
I couldn't get much done of anything.
No, and that's the dangerous part, like comfortability.
Yeah.
It's really a strong weapon for many people. Like you don't even realize you're doing something wrong, or you don't realize you have to change anything because you're having such a great time, you're comfortable and things like that.
But at the same time, I thought I was strong enough mentally to will it through
Yeah.
like on my own, but I wasn't.
No.
I had to have a close social circle
Yeah.
in order to make it through university, and that's just the way it was. I didn't see it at the time, but I saw it after a while,
Yeah.
and it worked to have friends.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a important part to have, and especially with me and the other guys in Sweden when we studied there.
Yeah.
It even if we had like more social activities and things like that, I think that was still a toxic environment because you know, a lot of drinking and partying and things like that. But still some great memories.
Yeah. But there were positives from that as well. The only reason I wanted to go to school was because I had great friends.
Yeah, and as we spoke before about this, like we have that done right now, but we don't have the need anymore to like party like that.
No.
And we did it, and it's over. But you shouldn't like take everything too serious either.
No.
You should have fun. You should live life.
Yep.
So you really have to think about what you want to like prioritize.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of people out there that's having difficulties like seeing the difference between being alone and being lonely. Because like that's something I dwelled on the later years, like being comfortable in my own skin and being comfortable being left out, being alone, not needed to be everywhere with everyone, things like that, and being like more authentic and things like that. Really working on that people pleasing tendencies, you know, which is really common today.
Yeah.
And I do believe, because you've never been like that.
No.
I think at first it was a great inspiration coming from you, because I saw it was a more healthy approach to life.
I never thought about it much.
No. But so that's something I've been working on, especially like the latest years, I would say. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
the clock's ticking.
I think the takeaway from this is that you should drink abundance of alcohol and you'll be fine, right?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. Signing off.
Signing off.
Peace.